that, it's actually quite pleasant in here. It's, it's not too bad.
Mm. So you're that side of Australia.
I'm up here. I'm still in New South Wales, but I'm up near the Northern Rivers. I'm in Lismore, and Lismore was the regional area that was flooded a few years ago. It was like Noah's flood, and it does suffer flooding here. But yeah, I'm up near the Northern Rivers. And my friend is a hot rod enthusiast and, motorbike. There's a Harley Davidson just across the table from me here. It's a bit of a fun space because I like bikes.
Great to see you, Catherine. It's been a while. The last time we came on here was how long ago? A week ago? 2 weeks ago?
It's been a week, yes.
How time flies,
Yes.
How time flies. A lot has been going on in our Royals world.
Yes, yes.
Remembrance Sunday, and they stepped out. Catherine, Princess of Wales, supporting husband Prince William. The King at the cenotaph, laying the wreath. I think the ceremony was very cozy, emotional, but I think it was very successful, wasn't it?
Yes, I think so. I think it hit all the markers, didn't it? In terms of what to expect from a Remembrance Day weekend. Pardon me. The highlight and the point of interest, of course, became Catherine, which is to be expected, but it was beautiful. It was. I think it was the Queen's favourite time of the year, wasn't it? For her favourite event.
It was, yeah, and we so missed her. Really, really missed her because whenever we look at that balcony appearance at the cenotaph, we were so used to seeing her stand there with Sophie and Catherine. Camilla and Catherine, and then Sophie used to be on the other balcony with Meghan, and if Meghan was there. So to see the Queen missing on this one, events that we used to enjoy seeing her, is always going to make us feel emotional. But hey ho, these are the times we are rolling on with what we are having now. And Catherine did a great job standing up there closer to Sophie. I think we saw Sophie providing a lot of support there for Catherine, who hadn't come to public duties more recently. These duties are of course going to be very nerve-wracking for her, because it's more like when you are used to driving and you don't drive for a long time and you get back onto the road, you will feel a bit nervous getting back in. So it's more like that with Catherine now, getting used to coming back into bigger crowds and attending special events like this where all cameras are going to be tuning in to watch.
Well, she's such a natural. I think why we're drawn to her is because it's not to suggest she doesn't work at it, but everything she does appears effortless, even when we know that it is requiring effort, which at the present time it is. But the way she smiled at Sophie, there's something incredibly effortless about Catherine that just draws us in. And I felt that it would. I'll tell you what's really come home to me is the big changes. It's actually been a huge seismic shift in the royal family, and it was kicked off with the death of Prince Philip, and then there was the Queen, and Andrew's now persona non grata, but I'm talking about how much the royal landscape has changed. And
it's changed so much, hasn't it?
dramatic. And I think, you know, I believe, and I've said this to you, I believe King Charles has transitioned quite well as a monarch because he can't continue promoting and preaching his previous issues. I'm sure that he still has, you know, a hand in some of those, but I think he has transitioned very well. But now the future, all of a sudden, is the spotlight's on William and Catherine. Everyone's looking at them now, and I think the illness, Camilla's illness, which was no surprise to me. I saw them in the flesh when they were here in Australia, and she looked more frail than the king. And I'm not trying to drum anything up. I'm just saying I was not surprised that she had a reaction, you know, and she had to just recover her strength. And but the absence of the Queen, it was just Catherine and Sophie. It was like, oh my God, it feels like it's here. And you know, but I think for the Wales, it's very difficult because in an early interview when William was much younger, he was asked about his future as an heir, and he said, look, it's not something I overthink. I don't give myself too much to that, because the only way that can happen is when people you love pass on, you know, when they die. And I thought that was a very insightful comment coming from him. It showed us a little bit of his nature and character. But that I felt that this weekend, and then you had that vicious attack. Look, that woman, she's just a Sussex flying monkey, specifically Markle. Yeah, she's that. Narendra, she's just a flying monkey. You know what it was? Meghan knew she could not compete with the long weekend, so she sent out a flying monkey to do a smear job. She couldn't stage a photo opportunity that would take away from them. So it's no wonder. And then you've got the attack from Tina Brown, which is very disappointing. But it's just like, we know it's happening, but when it hits you in the face like that, it really is a reality check on the current landscape. And Sophie was there. So the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, they really are playing a big part now, aren't they?
They are indeed, because right now, as you can see, especially with Edward, because you know he loves his brother. He likes to support his brother, King Charles, and we know that Princess Anne does the same. But since that health scare of Princess Anne, she has sort of been taking little steps back in. But you know, Anne and Edward have been very supportive of their brother.
Yes.
And on this occasion, obviously, they are still doing the same. Sophie always leading from the front with that support to Catherine. And her husband as well. Let's not forget Edward himself at some point wasn't feeling very well. He was down for a few days. But of course, we tend to focus our spotlight on these other royals, you know, senior royals, and we forget that, you know, Edward behind the scenes is also doing a great job.
Yes.
But he is very loyal, extremely loyal to his brother. You never see him step out and say something that is going to throw a hinge at his brother in any way, shape, or form. He's just carrying on with the job. The number of engagements Edward has been on that we haven't actually noticed.
That's right.
So many, yeah, they've been countries. They travel to countries with one, and they've done so many things. As the Duke of Edinburgh, he obviously assumed a very, very special title from his father. You know, that title was Prince Philip's baby. and so there was always this question of who was going to take it up, and they gave it to Edward, and he's carried it out very, very, brilliantly, supporting, the king. But it is a shame to see that they are not receiving the attention and the exposure they are supposed to receive. I'm talking about Edward
Yeah.
and Sophie. But
Yeah.
for us royalists who are watching on every day,
I don't
very.
understand that.
So, but coming back to Narinda and her comments she made, we can tell that there is some Sussex work going on behind the scenes. I mean, who doesn't know that? Who really doesn't? And obviously commenting about Catherine, Princess of Wales, in the way that she did, and that is so disgusting. She knows Catherine has gone through thick and thin. This is a woman who has been battling cancer, and she's coming out the other end successfully. She doesn't need any of these comments and people taking her back into those really, really terrible days when people used to spread a lot of bad press about her. Okay, so she knew what she was doing. She's trying to, because they are now seeing William, Catherine coming closer and closer to getting that throne. They've grown into this future king and queen, and people are getting jealous, very, very jealous. And of course, they are not going to show this, but they will get other people to do the job for them, destroying, and that blackmailing of a sort. But I thought those comments were really, really sad, very, very sad. And obviously, for us royalists, we know William, Catherine have been going through a hell of time. Like, they've been going through really, really difficult times. William is having his father battling, cancer, going through that treatment, and then he's having to see his wife again go through the same. Catherine herself, going through that. This treatment, chemotherapy, is not
Yes.
it is very, very strong treatment. So for people to sit down
Grueling.
there, to sit there and start commenting on how Catherine looks, how William looks, and they've lost weight, there's something going on behind the scenes, they're not telling us, it's actually not doing any good to these two. It doesn't take somebody who is having some common sense to think that when someone is going through a health scare, they are not going to look like glitter. They are not going to look. So for her to pass those comments, and all these other people have been reading around online saying, oh, there's something, they're hiding something. Why are they looking so terrible like that? It's very sad of them not to be supportive to William and Catherine, who have worked so tirelessly to uphold this monarchy, moving forward. Apologies, our dear friends, we didn't even say hi. We just literally went into it. Chantel, Joe, welcome to
Good
this live
morning.
stream.
Yeah.
Good evening here. Maureen, Diane, thank you so much. Chantel, we saw Pamela. We're so grateful for each one of you who's always stopping by to say hello to us. Apologies, we haven't been around for. Yeah, it's been very busy down this side, and Catherine is also traveling up and down. I think you're having to visit a family, Catherine.
Yes, I am. I'm up near the Northern Rivers. I'm visiting a friend for a few days, and we're going out. He's a hot rod enthusiast. That's actually behind me here. I'm in his shed where he's surrounded by vintage cars and Harley Davidson bikes. So we're going to go out in his hot rod later today. Yeah, but we were just chatting earlier. I didn't know, like, if I could really do a live, but it's actually working out quite well. So thank you for the invitation, Francis.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. So as you see, there is a lot, Catherine, that has been going on. A lot indeed. And so that Remembrance Sunday, Meghan, Prince Harry allegedly were invited. Somehow, I think it's Remembrance Sunday. So, they sent that video of theirs in California together with the wife. But I've heard people allegedly saying the reason they might not have turned up was because they were worried about the seats where they would be placed in the Royal Albert Hall, where the Remembrance concert was, and so they decided to show via video link appearance. I'm talking about Meghan and Prince Harry. Have you read about that?
Well, I mean, it's all very ridiculous. I think my feeling is that people, like, I've always read comments, okay, on news articles and on different feeds online. But one of the things is that they play everything out in the media. You know, if there is some conversation about seating going on, you do that quietly, but everything gets said, everything is spoken about, everything is negotiated in the media, and it's really tiresome. I'm so fed up with these two. They really can't help themselves, you know. And I mean, I think it was at the Jubilee when they were seated way back where. And I mean, they deserved that. They deserved that. But they want the best spot. They want, but they're not going to get it. They're not going to play. They're not going to be there. And I'm just really fed up with them. And, you know, I mean, they're always going to be of interest because he's the king's son. And, but I just think this woman really is, I've always thought she was mentally ill, but she's really unhinged. She is. So I'm thinking, so remember prior to this one, we had, now they don't know yet whether they will go to the Spencers for Christmas or not. They haven't decided yet. Will they, won't they? That all started again. Like, it's just so boring. And you know, I think the reason that she's probably getting desperate is once Catherine and William are there, they're gone. No one is paying. Like, there will be, the clicks won't be there for them anymore because their Sussex squad has diminished in somewhat in numbers. But they've still got flying monkeys like this Narendra. They've still got their flying monkeys. And this woman, you know, I listened to her. I paid attention to it, but I didn't want to rerun it on my channel. You know, I did put something up when it was coming to the end of it because I thought she said, you know, they really are the alternative royal family. And I thought, this is what's grinding your gears. They are not the alternative royal family. They're nobodies. And you've hooked your star up to the wrong wagon, girl. And she's really unhinged. And even the excuses that she was making about, or she could, do you know what her problem was? She didn't think she was going to get the pylon that she got. She was taken aback by that pylon, but people are fed up with it. And she's desperate for fame. She's just another Meghan Markle. And it's the same playbook. Oh, you know, I was racially abused, sexually abused. How were you sexually abused? Come on. Like, you weren't sexually violated or abused through this scrap. It was an online scrap. Once it dies down, we're moving on to the next one, you know, because let's face it, we all check out an accident. She was a crash, that woman. So I introduced that into your question because, you know, what did I think? I just thought, not this again. Oh, here we go. We can't turn up unless we got these seats, you know. We're not sure if we're gonna turn up at the Spencers for Christmas. Will they? Won't? I'm fed up with them. I'm really, and then for Tina Brown to come out and say that William needs Harry. Oh, I tell you, I'm so. I'm going to use one of my favourite words because I love using it with a campy sound. I was aghast, my darlings. I was totally aghast because she's one of my favourite writers. I like her. I've always liked her, but boy, did she show her. She's looking for, you know, a new audience for her podcast, her Substack. She's probably going to bring a new book out. You weren't new with any of this. You came on board with your comments about the Sussexes. You came on board late. There were others that got there before you. And William doesn't need Harry. The last thing he needs is Harry.
Exactly.
So,
I saw
what
that
are we getting from them? More of the same tripe. It's just all, oh.
She was looking for some sort of audience, and because that's what they do when they are about to launch something. So they want to first get into the controversy, that is, follow the controversial way of things. Like we see very much Meghan and Harry have been operating on controversies to get themselves in the headlines constantly. And I think this is a Tina Brown as well, trying to take that sort of path because she's looking for that, you know. But interestingly, let's first acknowledge Maureen here. So Maureen, where is Maureen? Let me see. There's a comment about Maureen. Maureen said the second time I battled cancer, the chemo almost killed me. Oh, sorry about that, Maureen. You're such a very brave girl. Yes, you know. So we've got our friends here with real life experiences, and they can tell us what it feels like being in the situation that Catherine, you know, Princess of Wales is. It's not an easy road at all. So to be still seeing people saying all these nasty things to Catherine, it is telling me that these people have probably never had something like this in their families. You know, they don't know what it is, someone to go through cancer, later on chemo, and make it in the way that Catherine has done, in the way that, you know, the cancer survivors that have come up and shared their experiences and how Catherine's journey has also inspired them. Those are the sort of people we want to listen to, not people like, you know, this, what her name,
Narendra Kaur. Narendra Kaur. She said her brother died of cancer, but I just felt, wow, if your brother died of cancer, then you've got no idea what your brother went through. If this is the way you think you can estimate another woman's journey, with cancer journey, because you've got no insight at all. She had no insight. Yeah.
Exactly. Someone traced her movements back, and allegedly she could have been closer to the Sussex camp. She could have, because again, all of those people who are making such remarks, when you look at them and follow their communications and their Instagram or social media threads, somehow you find that they have been lining up behind you know, the Sussexes in some way. So they want to operate like this now. For them, I think their intention is to literally bring down William and Catherine, just bring them down.
She was a flying monkey.
Exactly. They are capitalizing on this situation.
It was obvious. It was so. I would bet money on this. That's how sure of it I am. I'm so, because the playbook was exactly. It was. it was just great because I know what she means, saying that the chemo nearly, Maureen, that the chemo nearly killed her. More people die from the chemo than in the end, than they do the cancer. It's actually the treatment that takes a lot of people out. And you can see why when you understand what chemotherapy does. Now, granted, the Princess of Wales has access to all the top-end treatments that the average person can't afford, but that still doesn't mean she hasn't suffered. That doesn't mean that her body hasn't taken a hammering. You can tell that she's been through the mill. And for her to have said what she said, I mean, I just couldn't. I watched that interview with her, and the way she was carrying on, I thought, there's something wrong with you. You're as bad as your master, your paymaster in Monte Shit Show. Something is definitely wrong with this woman, and she hasn't really helped her cause for fame, because you know what happens? People get markled.
Exactly, and when we look at her and what's going on, she's losing the support. Everybody is not agreeing with what she said, and she is. She has. People have showed her a good lesson, that nobody plays with. Catherine, Princess of Wales, and thinks they are going to walk away just like that. But it's really bad. And listening to Tina Brown as well, calling Prince William is it transformative? What is the term she used? Performative.
I don't have the article in front of me.
Yeah, it's a performative pinhead. Okay,
that's it.
Tina Brown, yes, yeah, referring to Prince William with that interview he gave down in South Africa, when he said he's going to be doing things differently. And she read into this where that Prince William is going to be doing things better than how his dad is doing them. And she said that maybe William wanted to show the world that his dad has been wrong in how he's been doing certain things. So he's going to, when he comes on board, when his time comes, he's going to be doing things differently. So she expounded on this and took it far away in a completely different direction, wanting to prove to the world that, hey, Prince William sometimes comes across as, disrespectful to his father. And that wasn't, so I've listened to William in that interview, and I've looked at what William said. So doing things differently, more philanthropy work, more support. So in saying that, Prince William, of course, wanted to show the world that it's like King Charles. When King Charles came, he also tried to do things differently by opening up to the world in some ways. When he released his cancer news, previously we never knew the health situation of the monarch. Okay, those details were never released to the public. So King Charles comes in with a whole new approach and says, I'm going to be a bit more transparent, so I show you what's going on inside of us. He decides that people will be now visiting the palace rooms and going as far as tracing the steps of the royals to the Buckingham Palace balcony. So all of those little things that Charles has introduced, in the royal family, we could say he's tried to do things differently. Okay? But that term, doing things differently, means that someone is going to come in and improve and make things more better and better, because that's what the monarchy is all about. Every regime that comes up is aiming at achieving better, building, adding on to what is already there. So he says, when I come, I'll do things differently. Not to mean that he's going to be highlighting where his father has failed and is making those improvements. No, but trying to add on to what his dad is already doing. So it was very sad that somebody like Tina could use her influence to bring down William in a way that she did. And we know that Prince William has also had a very difficult time. His father, his wife. Um, so stepping out in South Africa and giving this interview in a way that he did, this was his little moment away from home, from stress he's been going through. So let the man be, let him enjoy. He's the heir to the throne. He is soon going to be the king. So, and William is very, very, he's a very sensible man. He has a good sense of judgment. He knows whatever he's going to say could have implications here and there. He could never have stepped out to say something that he knew was going to lead to a backlash of some sort. So he's very thoughtful of what he says. But shame upon Tina.
I think so.
Shame upon.
I agree with you. I think he is thoughtful in the things he says. You put it very well.
Mm. Mm-hmm. And you're quiet. Oh, it's the weekend, isn't it? So we have the little ones running around. But yeah,
no, it's all good. The same here. I've got my friend rummaging around because I'm in a garage. And there's
Hi Ida, thank you so much for tuning in. Chantel, Aspi. So we've got the air team here. Diane. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. What do you think about those comments from Tina? Is it Tina? What's her other name?
Tina Brown.
Tina Brown, yes. Yeah, I think she has lost my support because for long I thought she was a very sensible person. But making those comments at this time when the royal family is going through these hard times is not the best way to go about speaking out about the royals. Okay.
Well, it's a very personal attack, isn't it? I felt, Narinder Kaur's attack on Catherine was personal. It was all about her looks and she's getting old, or is she smoking? Just rubbish. And then I felt, what Tina said was also personal. I felt that it was ill-judged, it was misplaced. And look, even people who are not big royalists, even they don't like it when people gang up on people who are suffering and going through trials, which William is. And he said when he was away, he said, it's been the worst year of my life. And it shows. It does show. But he actually looked more relaxed while he was away. He was having some time away. He was able to reflect. He opened up. But, I think that people need to give him a break. She's really that's a huge misstep on her part. She's misread the room.
She's misread it, yeah.
Misread the room.
Because when this young man steps up and says, I'm going to do things differently, with this word differently can mean a lot of things, but in this perspective, we would like to think of William as a royal who always wants to achieve higher and higher, with his campaigns. He's very supportive of his father. I've never seen anybody that is supportive of his father than Prince William is. He's stuck by his father's side when his brother went away with his wife. Okay, he's stuck in there. His brother went on this campaign with the wife on Oprah Winfrey interviews, and this book campaign spare and the paperback version. Guess who is here stuck with his father day and night? It's Prince William.
That's right.
Okay. When the Queen was here in her final days and the Queen was, poorly in those days, guess who was there 24/7, sending Catherine there to be helping out, at Windsor. That was William, sending Catherine to go and help. William himself, always by his grandmother's side throughout all of those very difficult days. Where was his brother William and Meghan and Harry? Where were they? They were abroad. So it is him who has been here day and night, sticking around his father, supporting him through these very, very muddy days, to try and stabilize the ship when, the Sussexes wanted to bring it down. So he can't in any way be setting out to go out there and try and bring down his father by saying his father is doing nothing. No, he's actually acknowledging the good work of his father. And he says he's going to add this difference in what his father has already done, improve on the philanthropy, improve on creating more awareness. But Tina read the room very, very, she got it wrong here. And that
got
is
it wrong.
Yeah.
She got it wrong, and she dug even deeper when she doubled down. That's probably a better way to put it. She doubled down when she said, and this is where I feel that royal watchers and the media get it wrong, because they only they're still looking to Harry in the past. But when she said, he needs his brother to keep his feet on the ground, I thought, where have you been the last 5-6 years? You haven't. Did you read his book? Did you listen to his interviews? Why would William expose him, his wife, and his children to that energy and that jealous, vindictive spirit? Because some people have said, well, at least he didn't add anything new to his book. This was the latest release of the paperback. The thing is, it was a fulfillment of a contract. He didn't need to add anything new. He didn't have any. He said he had enough content to write 3 books. Yeah. But like, we believe you, Harry.
Yeah.
It's all fantasy land. But I just think that the media get it wrong, and Tina Brown being in that camp there, because what does she mean he's going to keep William's feet on the ground? That is, this guy is stoned 24/7. He gets out of bed and the first thing he has is a cone or whatever. He talked about in his book about when he found illegal substances in Courtney Cox's fridge when he was at a party at her place. And I mean, it's all in the book. Where is Tina Brown been? I'm so disappointed. I can't tell you how I'm so disappointed.
She's very late to this party.
Well, what is going on? This is a smart woman.
Can you please turn the noise down, please? Okay. Should I send you to bed now? Yeah. So keep the noise down, please. That is on his live. Okay. Yeah. Oh dear Lord. Yeah. He's speaking on
Daddy's on his live, kids. It's usually the other way around.
Apologies, my dear friends.
Keep it down.
It's the weekend, so the party has only just started here. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Talk about role reversal.
Yeah. So sometimes I let them be. It's no school tomorrow, so yeah. Catch up on their mixed programs for the week, yeah. But keep the noise down.
I just love that. I'm going to clip that and replay it. Come on, kids. Daddy's on his live.
It's on his live. They don't know how much I've been looking for.
Adorable.
We haven't had this the whole week. And we decided to speak to our friends. And then Elliot here is playing up, Apologies, dear friends. But yes, Catherine, you're very right. Tina Brown is late, very late. I think she's trying to find a ground. She's trying to capture people's attention. I think she will be launching something very soon. And she wants
I think so.
She wants to play about with this controversy game. The same way Meghan and Harry have been playing it to get themselves into those headlines. But I don't think it will work because they are playing, they are playing with the wrong people. Catherine, Prince William, these have people's hearts already glued onto them, and nobody's gonna change that. Nobody will. And you talked about Meghan Markle and how she wants to be seen, so she uses those expenses. I won't come back to the UK, I don't have security unless you give me the security, but I won't come. So they invited her to the Spencers for the Christmas, and we don't know if we will go or not. Okay, so they like to do things on their terms, but who cares? Who really cares? I don't even think that people gave a flying toss, when they didn't show up to all of these events that they were invited to, because people have since erased them, for what they did, particularly to Her Majesty the Queen, that treatment of the Queen, the way they did. People will never have these people back in their hearts. No way.
No. Well, there's a
Oh, yeah.
latest article. I read one this morning where Harry says, oh, everyone's ready to embrace us and accept us back into the family. There's only 2 people blocking it. No one believes it. No one believes it. His father would do anything to have him back, but he's not stupid. He doesn't have a death wish. And that's all Harry would bring, is great stress into his father's life. He's just painting. It's more of the painting of those 2 as the bad guys. I'm ready to forgive. I'm ready to make up. But there's 2 people blocking it. Let's ask Mike Tyndall what he thinks. Let's ask Princess Anne what her thoughts are on the subject. She's no nonsense. She was like her father. No one believes this, and I think unless they do something really dramatically and they pull a rabbit out of the hat, I really do believe they are dead. They're like, it's all, how they say it's all over but the shouting. That's all we're hearing is shouting. Just shouting. I come back to Tina Brown because she is a substantial figure. She really is. And for her,
Aspi says here that she's a good writer, her journalism and her experience.
Yes.
Okay.
I love her writing. I love it. But for her to have elevated Harry at his brother's William's expense was really, I thought, my God, I don't know. But in my view of William, though, is look at, and I don't want him to try, by bringing the subject up, I am introducing politics, but look at what's going on in America. Every time you check online or check the news, Trump has appointed a new figure and everyone's going, yay, it's like, oh, wow. But, some of them are former Democrats. And, you've got JFK in health, you've got Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, he's pulled together this coalition and he's going to do things his way, and he looks very confident, he looks relaxed. And that's what William's going to do. William is he's not running his father down by saying, I want to do things with a small r. I mean, I think there are reasons for people to be concerned about the future under William, but you have to give him time. He needs time to develop. And I think that he's come out of the gate strong with Earthshot, and that's under a completely different entity. It's not under the Royal Foundation like the Homelessness Project. I understand the criticisms toward William in relation to selecting a few projects because the royals need to be seen to be in support of all charities. I understand that, but we have to change. Things have to change, and he's not going to get everything right. We know that, and he has made mistakes. I'm not going to litigate them here. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, I think he's finishing his, for the year he has had with both his wife and his father, I think he's finishing the year well. That's my view. So go take a hike, Tina Brown.
Yeah, like was it Natoya? Natoya says, I think,
yes,
says that. Let me try and pull that comment. She will fall just like Scooby.
she
Scooby.
will.
She will, because the path she's taking is not the wise one. She needs to.
Yeah.
She needs to find ways of coming back into people's good books after this, because people have
she's an
taken
intelligent
this.
woman. She can do it without this.
So she needs to find a way of reassuring people that maybe she misread this, and William, obviously royals are looking at these top stories, they are reading into them every day. I know somewhere, somehow, they will see her remarks about William's response in that interview. And I'm here saying that I don't think William in any way, shape or form wanted to come across as my father isn't doing enough, I will do enough when it's my time. I don't think he's that sort of man. He's very supportive of his father, extremely supportive.
Yeah. It doesn't land. That criticism doesn't land, does it? I mean, because I'm of the view that you always need to listen to your critics, and sometimes there's a kernel of truth in there, but I think this Tina Brown thing is so off the mark. It's not landing. It's not landing, and it would be unwise of her to do a Narendra Kaur when she just said, "Oh, all the trolls online, they're really hurting my feelings, and it's racist and sexual abuse, misogyny." If Tina Brown pulls that, she's ready for the nursing home.
Oh, yes, she is. She will be so soon. Chantel Martin says she'd never heard of Narendra. Who had ever heard of her?
I've never heard of her
before until this comments that she made. So obviously they want to play about with this politics of controversy online, get themselves involved in controversy, and that's how they think they're going to be getting the headlines. You get those headlines, but for a few days, and things turn sour. Okay, look what has happened to the Harrys, the Meghans. Okay, they've got themselves in these headlines through controversy after controversy, and
it doesn't last.
The impact, the bad impact this has had on their brand is visible. Their popularity on the decline day and night. Even now, if they ran a popularity contest, they will end up being at the very bottom there in terms of how people, perceive them. As well, foundation failing to pick momentum, where with no donors coming through, that trust has since gone. All we can see really is a Harry stepping out and maybe getting applause from a few of his fans, and they're doing that simply because he's a son of Princess Diana, the king's son. So he will have those reservations, but at that minimal level than he would have had he stayed in the good books here. Okay, so that building a brand on controversy doesn't help in any way. You will
No,
be known
it's
that
unsustainable. Yeah.
it's very harmful, very,
Yeah.
very harmful. Yeah.
Mm.
And part of the reason Meghan Markle is not coming back here, and picking up every tiniest of excuses for her not coming here is because she knows where she sits with the British public. Okay, so she's built her name on controversy, which hasn't helped her in a way of being in people's good books, and attending events. Everyone is always going to be worried about the controversy she will bring on those events and how that will overshadow things. Okay, you don't want to get yourself in this sort of position. For Tina Brown, who has already established her name in journalism and writing, you don't want to go down the Meghan Markle path. It is very dangerous. Okay, so but it's great to see
Seems
our friend
desperate,
here.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it
Sorry,
does.
because I haven't got my headphones. I just I'm not adjusting well to the lag. Sorry, I don't mean to talk over you, Francis. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good to go. Yeah. Hi, Sam. So Sam joined the party quite
Hi,
late. Good
Sam.
to see you. You've made this.
Aspie.
Yes. So Joe asks a question. Francis and Catherine, I'll put it up. Catherine, can you see it? You've
I
got
can.
the.
I'm looking at it now. Francis and
Okay.
Catherine, do you think H&M Remembrance Day video was pre-recorded? It's my suspicion that H is not in the US. That's a really good question. I
A
do
good
think it was
question.
pre-recorded.
I
Yeah.
do think as well it was
Yeah.
pre-recorded, yes, because nobody apparently knows where Harry is. Nobody, it's this professional separation of theirs. They like to call it professional separation. It could mean that there could be something going on between these two, because I know that the other day they said they stepped out together, videos, they attended this event together. But I'm still not too sure whether this togetherness is very strong as they put it up. They put it out there. Okay. But we also know that with this Trump election, that that happened recently, was always going to be very nerve-wracking for Meghan and Harry, because they know that Donald Trump is not a fan of them. Okay. So
No.
whether Harry had made
Yeah.
an exit to go somewhere and first monitor the situation and how things were going to be, and we also have this rumor going around that Trump might resurrect the visa situation and bring it back, because remember that visa case was sealed. Nobody really knows what went on, the outcome of it.
Yeah.
But there is a rumor going around allegedly that Trump might reinstate, might bring back that case into the frame and look at it again. So
Yeah. Well, so if he's not in the US, where is he? Where is he? And that's actually important to sort of look at, because the headlines about Harry's returning to the royal family have died down. That they haven't been given any further oxygen in the media. So where exactly is he? I doubt he's in Portugal.
no, I doubt he's
I
in
doubt it
Portugal.
very much.
But we will soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
So
know. I wonder if he is in the UK. But if he's in the UK, the royal
then
family
why
are getting
would
on
he?
with their business.
Exactly. No, he's not here. He should be somewhere in the US. He should be there, keeping his head down. But he's probably planning their next move, because this is what happens whenever they keep quiet like this, keep their heads down. What comes after is big story, so the big controversy. But what I know is the paperback version of his book hasn't sold well at all. It has performed incredibly
Thank you.
poorly. Okay, so that alone isn't good news for
New
Harry.
cup of tea.
Cup of tea there, yeah. Yeah, that's a nice one. I'm having mine. It's now gone cold. I'll probably.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think because America is such a big place,
Yeah.
he's
So
he's
so
keeping his nose clean.
it's
I'll tell
keeping
you,
down because things haven't gone very well recently
no,
with his book. So he was shocked to see that the paperback version of his book hasn't picked up in the way that his spare did, because he sold
yeah,
100 million copies in the first week or so of releasing it. In fact, that book went into the Guinness Book of Records for selling as the bestseller within the first week of its release. And so he got so excited about that. And then he releases this paperback version and it goes the other way, opposite direction, no copies, no. I think he sold about, is it I'll read that up, but he hasn't
yeah. He
sold
hasn't sold
any
that
any
many.
good
It,
numbers.
they've
Yes.
distributed it and they've given a lot away, which is what happens when you mark. But it's not a new book, so
Is
and because there's
is
nothing new in it, um, I, who's going to buy it? And it was actually, even though it might have hit the Guinness Book of Records for most sales, it actually was also um, the travel industry reported that it was also considered to be the one book that was left in waiting rooms, it was left in motels, hotels, it was left at airports. They would just, people would look at it, give it a quick read, and then just dump it. So it was also the most dumped. Oh, Harry, you are the most dumped. You are, who's the dumpee? The reader. The readers dumped you. Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing. But that's the truth of it. That's what the travel industry reported. They were finding copies of that spare when it first came out everywhere. It was just read, flicked through, and dumped. And I don't dump books. I don't. I'll tell you, I go around secondhand shops looking for books, and there was a book, Finding Freedom, and I didn't have that on my shelf, and I never wanted to read it. It's rubbish, written by Scobie, but it was in the secondhand shop for weeks, and I thought, oh, I'll take it off the shelf. But it doesn't mean I'm going to read it just because I got the book. So poor old Harry. I mean, a few years later, you're right, controversy only gets you so far. Are you still there, Francis? I think I'm talking to myself. Am I talking to myself? Because it looks like I'm still online. Um, Catherine, please. Yeah, I think because he did say earlier, I'm in a really hot spot here, girls. It's the sun is coming in, it's glaring. I've already taken one layer off. It's going to be a hot day here. I'm up at the Northern Rivers in New South Wales, and that's my connection is also a little bit dodgy, and I couldn't connect my headphones, so I'm just here, my morning self. But we really wanted to do a live because Francis has been so busy this time of the year, marking papers, etc. But if you can hear noise, it's because I'm in my friend's shed and he's surrounded by cars. He's in an industrial area and he's a vintage car enthusiast, specifically hot rods. And there's a Harley Davidson here in front of me across the table. I didn't want to show any pictures of them because they're not my vehicles. I just wanted to be secure. But that's where I am. So, but what did you girls think of? What did you girls think of Tina Brown? I'm really disappointed. I feel like one of my heroes. I'm overstating it by using that word, but someone I really admired has fallen. Oh, gee whiz. It really hurt me deeply because I think she just really missed the mark. I think she was, she just sounds desperate to regain some relevance because she wants to launch her Substack, etc., etc. But because she's a fantastic writer, I've got a few of her books. She's a terrific writer. The minute you start reading one of Tina Brown's books, you're in that world. But I won't be so enthusiastic getting any more of her books because I think she's losing the plot. She'll be markled. You're right, Joe. You're right. She will be markled. There's a mutiny taking place again. You know that, don't you, girls? Because Francis isn't here and I'm taking over. We got to let his son know I've taken over. Oh, he's back. Oh, no, he's gone again. He's gone again. So, yeah, I think she's going to be markled. Lorinda, Kyle, whatever, she's not going anywhere. She's just going to go down like a stone. And but Tina Brown was the biggest disappointment for me. But you can't attack people who are suffering cancer, and you can't attack a man who is trying to keep his family together under the most extraneous circumstances. I mean, 2 cancer diagnoses in 1 year is like really. So no wonder the King did very well in Australia when he was here, because everyone just had enormous empathy for him and for the royal family. But he's back. Are you back, Francis?
I'm back now.
I took over. I just kicked you out. See, it
Thank
wasn't
you,
your
sir.
son you needed to worry about. It was me. I kicked you out because I wanted the floor all to myself.
Thank you for steering the ship. The phone went dead. The
Well,
battery.
my friend made me a cup of tea, so I'll have a cup of tea.
Okay, that's nice. They are looking after you, Catherine. They love you so much. We do. You bring so much to these lives, Catherine. You really do. Thank you. And so is everyone here. We have all the A team on board. We have every single one of them here.
Yes, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, they've all turned up.
Yeah.
It's pretty hot
My
where
dear
I
friends.
am. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
steaming.
I would like to thank everyone for the support that we managed to get our channel monetized as well, which wasn't, no, thank you.
Well done. Take a bow,
Yeah,
Francis.
yes, but it's your great work, everyone who is here, for showing up every day and showing that support. So we managed to break through the YouTube systems, and they acknowledged us that we are a very sentimental, original channel that is worth gaining their trust.
I
So
think so.
thank you, guys. Yes.
Yeah.
So when you see icons there like membership and all of those things, okay, so any way you can support, we will be very happy, because that's what keeps us going and getting the lighting and the microphones and everything. As you can imagine.
No, that's good. You run a good channel, Francis. You do. And you're right about, I think there is a bit of a warmth and a sentimentality to our
Yes.
reportage, I think. But I think people like that. That's my view. And I'm not trying to say, that's the only way to report something, but it works for us.
Yes, thank you. And this is where we want Catherine to go. Please subscribe to her channel if you're not yet. She is doing amazing. You really, ever since you hit the 1K subscriber mark, your channel has never looked back. So we are very proud of you.
Fantastic.
We are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I say it every time because it's the truth. It was your support and your A team. You really all came out. It's good though, because now I can, the thing is with the algorithm, you have to pump out content, and oh my gosh. So now I'm just doing one a day, but I actually want to change the strategy now. And
Yes.
but you run a great channel, Francis. You know, I can see why your community is so loyal.
And we it's a respect we have for our community as well. They are incredible thoughts turning up here with us every day. Aspe is asking whether the channel can we send money to the channel. When you look at the comments where you do the post the comments, there should be a dollar sign, a small dollar sign there.
Ooh,
So
ooh, talking money now.
yeah. So that's usually where you would go and tap on that dollar sign, and then it brings up whatever it does. But I think that's the avenue for any sort of super thanks that might be coming from your way. So you channel them through there. And then we have some membership packs up. So if you again you look at the profile, you will see something like join. So that's like the membership thing. So those packs have different things. So if you join up under a certain pack, it means you will be seeing videos before others see them, or you will be a member of the A team, like we have our A team members here, and we can always meet backstage like we do with Catherine before we come live. To
Oh,
sort of,
awesome. Oh, I love the
yes,
sound
yeah.
of that. Oh, we're going to be backstage in the green room.
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
So thank you so much, everyone. And Catherine Natoya says that I'll put that up. She says that she wakes up to your shorts every morning.
Really? Oh, how
Yes.
fantastic. Thank you. That's so cool. Look, I
Yes.
was telling Francis, what I like about him is he never gives up. And it's taken a while for his channel to get monetized, but he's done it now. But he did it himself, you know. And ever since he and I hooked up and started doing lives, I've been really hesitant. I sort of think, oh, you know, oh, you don't need an old lady on there. You know, you're just going to think, oh, I'm speaking my generational stuff, and you know. But when I heard he told me this morning he got monetized, I thought, yeah, but you did that all on your own content. He
Thank
really did,
you.
and you know, you are such an inspiration. I'm going to take while I'm away for a few days, I will do a couple because he's always saying people want to see your face, Catherine. I go, why? I don't want to see my face. But you're such a vital inspiration. And someone said here about these your channel and these lives, that they're drama free. And why do we need to introduce drama into our day?
Woohoo!
Why? Yeah.
Exactly. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Look at Aspi there. Thank you.
Oh, you go! Yeah, you go. You're you are officially making money.
Oh, thank you so much, Aspe. You see how easy it becomes, you know, when these buttons become applicable, and this support here really is what drives our channels forward in ways that you can never imagine. Because I tell people this every day: when you're going to do something and you do it with your heart, okay, it doesn't matter how you're feeling that day and time. You just show up every day and for the love of what you do and others. But also a lot of the time why we show up is to see our friends here. I think, Catherine, you know this, that if you go 5-6 days without appearing here to do something like this and seeing our friends, the likes of Sam, the Maureen, the Aspes, the Chantel Martins, you know, the free speeches, you know, it's you start missing them. You do, because you're like, how are they getting on? What are they doing now? You start thinking of, so you build this community, you know, of people who you want to check in with every day to see how they are doing, because this is how we thrive, as individuals, by being kind and listening to each other. So when we see the Joe Vickers missing, the Sam R's, the Diana Meadows, and they're not here, we're like, are they okay? We've not heard from them for a while.
Yes.
So it's not just that we talk about our royals day in and day out, but also one way of checking in into ourselves to see if we are okay, if people are doing well behind the scenes, because life is becoming very, very challenging these days. If you don't hear from someone 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, we start to worry, don't we?
Well, I do, and I don't. But I knew you were busy because it's coming to deadlines. It's the end of the year, and I knew that. But when you're not around, I do miss you, And the one day you were able to post something, I was not online because I was busy getting ready to come up north. So, but you do miss people, and then to be back on live again today, it just feels a bit awkward because I'm not in my own space, and it's really warm. It's really really warm here. Trust me, and but it's just really I love the team, because they come over and they encourage me with their comments on my channel. They leave thoughts, and I'm always mindful to try and give them something that they want and not give them something they don't want. But that's what you do, because when you come up with your little videos, like I really love the one do you really think Harry and Meghan are losing sleep? What a killer opening,
Thank you so much, Max Brat. Thank you guys. Really, really, really happy to have this good weekend.
He's in the money.
This is a fantastic weekend. Yes. This is all to our channel to grow, and I promise you are going to see big and better things happen with this channel. I'm going to start going places to do mini little documentaries and walks around the royal spaces. So we have the Windsor Castle, we have Buckingham Palace, the Tower of London. I went a little bit around Kensington Palace, but it wasn't a major sort of story. But I want to try. Yes, yeah. I want to try and get these little mini royal documentaries from somebody that speaks to you. Seeing me live there and talk about things and point at these things, I suppose makes a big difference from when we hear them from people we don't know about. Okay?
Yes. Yeah. Can you hear the birds here?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because he feeds them. They're the Carawarrens. And they're screaming at him because they want to be fed, And that's your background music. They're saying, no, they're dancing up and down because you've been monetized and now you're in the money,
I know. Thank you.
I liked your Kensington Palace broadcast. I thought that, because I actually would like to go and look at Kensington Palace when I'm there. I thought that was a really interesting post.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. And when you go to these places, you actually feel the royal what is it? The breeze. You feel that breeze because you are in a place where the royals frequent. You see them coming in, going out, and you become part of history at that moment in time by you being there at that time. So I remember going down to Kensington Palace last time. Not that I've never been, because where I was serving, most of you know by now, as a Queen's Guard at the time. We used to go to these places, but that was a different time then. When you're working for an organization that is it's very regimental, everything is supposed to be done in a certain way, you go out of the way, there's going to be a big problem. So I was like that when I used to serve with the army. And so we follow these standard operating procedures, and you don't even, sometimes you don't enjoy 100% because you are scared of making mistakes doing things.
Yes, I can
But
imagine.
now that I finished and I'm going back on my walks, I'm actually enjoying it more because I can now do things without being worried of being caught out for not turning up in the right order of dressing, not polishing my boots, so I'm more free. Now, you see, Prince William is having a beard now. Back then, we're not allowed to have a beard on. So we used to shave every day, wash and shave every morning. I think they've carved the rules a little bit now, so they can have the beard as long as it's kept short and well looked after. But those would have been some of the things that would have been no at the time of my service.
Yes.
So coming back to this little mini royal tours I want to do, Sam says Hampton Court Palace would also be another place. So I'm writing all of these down. And really this funding that is coming through this channel, through these super thanks stars you're sending is going to come very handy in helping me make these little movements and go to these places, because I live a bit outside of London, so I still catch the train into London and to visit these places. But I think it's going to be very helpful going forward that we have this window of funding coming through from our friends on the channel.
Yes.
The channel go.
Yeah.
And I know, Catherine, you're heading there as well. You're coming, very soon we are gonna get to see your channel monetized. But all of these funds coming here, Catherine, we can use them together in a way that can support both channels. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So for example, you have your upcoming royal visit, your tour to come and see the King's birthday parade, which is going to be next year around June time.
Yes.
Okay. So part of this little funding can also go towards your ticket, contribute to your ticket because you're coming. We want to come and see you here. King Charles.
That's so cute. That's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
geez,
it is.
Stop some more. That's so lovely.
So we truly appreciate all of this support coming through, Catherine. And so coming back to Prince Harry's getting lost, because many people are wondering where he is and what is he doing. This is their technique. It is their technique. Meghan and Harry have a way of hiding sometimes and reading the room. What is going on? What are the royals doing? What can we do to sort of surpass what they've done so far? Or how can we get back with a bang? Okay, but they are there. They are observing. They are reading the room. But I think as well, what might have come as a shock to them was this Trump presidency, because we all know that the president who was elected does not really agree with the projects. Meghan Markle, Prince Harry have embarked on. Trump so many times has expressed it openly. That he does not believe how Harry could treat his grandmother like that. He just couldn't believe they did that. So I think they are very nervous, Meghan and Harry, wherever they are very nervous of the future in the United States, what this Trump could do to them when he eventually comes into the White House. And so they are probably planning their next moves in case things go the other way.
What do you think of Stedman said this on one of my posts, that Harry is seeking to reach out to Ivanka Trump, Trump's daughter. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, you know, because everything's always all about him. It's about him, you know. Where's your congratulations to the president? Even losing candidates congratulate the winners. So what are your thoughts about that? Do you think there's anything in that possibility of a relationship developing between Ivanka and Harry?
Well, if it is going to be there again, it would be probably Harry asking for it more, fighting for it more to try and build that lost trust between him and between their camp and the new president of the United States, because they know they are not a fan. You know, Donald Trump is not a fan of Meghan and Harry, not at all. And if Meghan and Harry are going to continue doing business in the US, they have to find a way of, building those bridges between them and the president. Okay. And they know very much that William and Catherine sit very, very well with the Donald presidency, because Donald Trump came down here when he was president of the United States before Joe Biden, and they were hosted. They went to Buckingham Palace. They had a very good conversation with William and Kate. So Meghan and Harry know that this presidency is going to favor William and Kate. So they have to find a way of bridging those gaps. So if that story came out, that maybe Harry's trying to connect with Ivanka, Ivanka's daughter, it could have elements of truth, because we know there is that desperation right now, for Harry to get back in the good books of Donald Trump's presidency. Okay, he has to win it, and the only way he can do that, of course, is to go through his daughter. And he knows that Trump loves his daughters, he loves his children. So if he goes through those, the message can reach out to their father pretty quickly. So it's a plan, and they are getting this advice, I suppose, from people advising Meghan and Harry, but I don't think it will go any far, because Trump he's always made it clear. He's made it clear. He's got no reservations for these two.
Well, I'm revisiting the Tom Bauer book, The Revenge book, and she really made a big deal about Ivanka Trump on her blog, The Tig, and spoke about her style and her fashion, which she did, because she used that as a ploy to name drop and meet people of substance, etc. So I'm wondering also if it was a suggestion from Meghan. I can't see it going anywhere, because the Trumps are really loyal, and they I couldn't see that she would have much respect for Harry, because they don't treat their family like that. We know the history of Trump with women, etc., but he's a real family man. He loves his kids.
He does.
They really close ranks around him. All of
very
them.
Respectful of his kids, and you could see the family. They're very supportive of him as well throughout the campaign. It's okay traveling with him to all of these states. We could see them traveling with him as well during those very difficult times Trump was facing with court cases in these states. We saw him flying to Florida, to Carolina, to Ohio to face these trials. There is a point he had how many trials going on all at the same time.
Yes.
But you could see them there to support to support their father. So he's a very, very strong family man. and that is what he doesn't like in Meghan and Harry, seeing how they don't have those family values, disrespecting family, and the family that loved them so much and treating them in the way that they did. This is what doesn't sit well with Trump. So, and I suppose Donald Trump as well wouldn't want to put himself into the spotlight with this Meghan and Harry controversy. As the
Yeah,
president of the United
yeah,
States, he knows these two carry a lot of negative publicity around and energy around them. Would he want to bring them closer to him? I highly doubt. He's going to keep an
yeah.
arm's length. I know that for sure.
I couldn't see it. I don't see it at all. I can I can buy that an outreach has been made, and because Ivanka had featured on Meghan Markle's The Tig, I can buy that. And he is the king now. Trump is the king, and he's president. But I mean, let's be honest. The republic was designed on a monarchical template.
Mm,
So he's the king. Harry is the son of a king, and but Harry's a traitor. He's a
mm,
traitor. He
mm.
betrayed the queen. He betrayed his father. Brothers fight. We get it. We understand that. But he's a traitor, and I just don't see that the Trumps, any of them, will have time for Harry. I just can't see it. And
No
I
chance.
mean, look at a lot of people put Trump's getting over, like in the final weeks. They put that his success down to Barron Trump, because Barron said to his dad, Dad, you've got to get on the podcasts. You've got to go on this podcast. You've got to go on that podcast. I mean, his kids are all in there with him. They
Mm,
may not agree with everything their father says and does. I'm sure
mm,
no one
mm,
does agree with everything their father says and does. That's
mm,
why I felt Tina Brown was so off the mark, because
mm.
of course William doesn't agree with everything his father does.
Yes, yes.
Of course, and what happens, when a new baby comes into the world, the grandmother comes along, "Oh, how can I help? No, I'll do it my way." It's normal, but I can't see any relationship of any note developing between Harry and Ivanka. I can't see it.
No, no, I can't say it. And Aspi says there, his son Eric stated in an interview before the election that
Yes.
his dad won't deport him, but Harry and Meghan are of no importance and are irrelevant. I think that is how they are going to be looking at Meghan and Harry. Trump presidency is basically going to be looking at them as some spoiled two individuals who wanted things on a silver plate, and who just look at them with no importance at all. I don't think he will give his energies on spend his energy. He has so many important things to think about. But I know, saying that though, he said he's going to come up with aggressive policies, very aggressive policies to try and, of course, make sure that things are done correctly, rightly. And if Meghan and Harry are to be probably kicked out of the US in some way, it will be the policies that the Trump government would come up
Yes.
with, that
Yes.
these two would not be able to meet.
Yeah, I do think I do think, even though Trump's got other things on his mind, and Eric has said, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I mean, they really put the knife in with that. Look, they're no one. They're irrelevant. But I do think there's a lot to be said for keeping the screws on Harry, though, for keeping the pressure on him, because he
Mm,
deserves it. He deserves to
mm,
feel uncomfortable. He shouldn't be
mm,
allowed to feel comfortable in America. She's an American citizen. What are they going to do about her? They're stuck with her. I they've got bigger fish to fry. The relationship with the UK is a priority for this new president, I understand. So, but they will keep the pressure on. Like you say, it'll be the policies. It won't be Trump. There will be policies that will come into play. They will keep the pressure on him. And you know what, Harry, you made your bed. Just, you deserve it. You deserve policies that are unfriendly to you.
That's the only way you can make them learn and grow up.
Yes.
Because they are riding on these narratives of, okay, so we are members of the royal family, we have a royal title, so we can be invited to events, we can bypass this and get in, we can do this. The same narratives we allegedly saw themselves riding on when they were stayed in. Because when you're in the royal family, we have these sort of positions. So you have the king up there, you have the heir to the throne, who would be William and Catherine, and then we have the rest follow. Okay, you can't bypass these positions in any way, shape, or form within the royal household if you wanted something. So when Meghan arrived, allegedly, she thought she would bypass this and just straight away go and get what she wanted. Okay, she would jump the queue, including Catherine and Camilla, and come top with what she wanted. Okay, she wanted to do things their own way. And this is not how things work in an establishment which is based on values and strong foundations of tradition. They couldn't manage to live. Meghan and Harry cannot work in an establishment where they are going to be forced to follow the right. They want to do things their way. We've seen them do this with the Archwell Foundation. What has happened? Losing staff day and night because they end up doing things unprofessionally. Okay. So with Trump coming in now and his very, very strict policies, whether this is going to be immigration or how organizations function, they have to follow these right procedures and paperwork, submitting this on time. Meghan and Harry won't be able to survive with that.
No.
If they can't hand in their Archwell Foundation paperwork for their charity on time, okay, how are they going to be able to live in a country if Donald Trump says from now on you fail to submit your tax returns on the day you're supposed, that's it, your organization is closed.
That's such a rookie mistake. It's such a rookie mistake.
Yeah, but it's such a shame that William and Catherine are here. They've registered their charity in United States. They've already started getting companies, organizations lining up behind the Royal Foundation for the Prince and Princess of Wales, operating in the field of mental health and support in US. And Meghan and Harry, who have been in the US for how many years now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, coming to 6 years, don't have this support from local organizations there. They don't have funders. People are not forthcoming with supporting Meghan and Harry's Archwell and this better up mental health projects. But people are saying, no, we are ready to welcome William and Catherine all the way from United Kingdom. If they are opening up their organization here, we are ready to support them. They've gone through the paper channels. They've already secured a trademark for the Royal Foundation for the Prince and Princess of Wales in the United States. They've done all that very smoothly in the right way of things, no wahala. Okay, Meghan and Harry have failed. Up to now, Meghan can't...
Failed at everything.
What does that tell you? It
Yeah.
tells you a couple that is not seeking the right advice because they want to do things their own way all the time. And when you do that, but also it is telling us that since they left the royal household and went separate ways and started monetizing all of their ventures, they've lost so much trust from communities out there. And they don't buy into their narratives of, yes, this is our organization, we're going to save lives, we're going to help, because people are seeing them as very unserious people. Okay, they themselves need help with Prince Harry's mental health, and Meghan Markle. They themselves still need help. So how can they preach to people out there that they are going to help them with resolving mental health issues when themselves haven't healed since leaving the royal family?
Well, that's right. Remember when they left, when they, it was all announced and everything, and one of the headlines was Meghan says, "Oh, when I get back, I will choose the directors that I'm prepared to work with." I couldn't believe the arrogance. I thought to myself, now if I was a Hollywood director, I'd be thinking, "Oh, sorry, but forget it." It's like she already shows herself as someone who can't work with others. I will choose my directors. I will choose them. They will be according to the way I see myself and the way I want to be portrayed in movies. She really thought she was going to land all these hot roles, like way up there with Angelina Jolie and Helen Mirren. She thought she was going to be just catapulted into the stratosphere, and every director in Hollywood was going to be taking her out for lunch. It didn't happen because she already had a reputation. See, this is what, because I skimmed through the Revenge book, but I'm reading it a little more deeply. She already had a reputation. She already had a reputation in Hollywood. I was reminded of that. She People didn't want to work with her. And when they were in Australia and they left the market early because the UN, she was supposed to meet with the UN women. She didn't want to because she already had a reputation at the UN. She screwed that up when she did do anything at the UN because she thinks she knows everything. So what, but remember that? Remember when she said, "Oh, no, I'll choose the directors I'm going to work with." And I thought, wow, they know straight away that they can't work with you. And but she already had it. Like in the first half of Revenge, it's just one failure after another. It is one aggressive failed actress after another. It's just like you say, they're seen as bad actors.
They are. They just need to take a step back and reflect upon themselves, look themselves in the mirror and say, what have we been doing wrong all this while? Why are we stagnant? Because we know they are signing these million, they've signed the Netflix, was it 100 million, whatever it was, contract with Netflix. That didn't really go as smooth as they wanted, and they couldn't live to the expectations. The Spotify deal. I mean, they've been working, getting some of these very, very big deals,
Lucrative.
left, very lucrative, but those deals haven't gone down very well. Meghan ended up being dropped by Spotify. And so there is a reason behind this. I think the main reason is not listening, not taking
Yes.
advice,
Yes.
not being grateful. Those things are very key. When you
Yeah.
look on the other side and you see William and Catherine and how grateful they are, and how they listen to people. Okay. So you see the Earthshot Foundation, is Earthshot Prize for Prince William. That organization is run by the top executives. I mean, Prince William is the figurehead of that, but there are people behind that executive that organization that have run it very smoothly, swiftly. You will never hear that an executive from Arthur Price has resigned, or they've lost this one, this is happening. No, these are organizations that are carefully done, planned. They entrust these organizations to the people who are skilled, who are learned, who know what they are doing. Meghan Markle, Prince Harry want to be the directors of their organizations. They want to be the editors. They want to be everything. Okay, this is where the big problem comes in. But also, they left the royal family when they were not ready. They were not ready to leave. They hadn't, Prince Harry himself was not prepared. They did.
No,
They had no experience of managing things. Everything in the royal family, remember, is being managed by people who are well knowledgeable. So they give you a team to work with. So Meghan and Harry themselves were not ready to go and take on these projects by themselves. They needed support. And this is where they failed. They're now collapsing. Nothing seems to be working their way. I know.
no. Well,
I,
the girls in the chat are reiterating some of the things they've done, and everything they say is correct. And I think it's Jo. She says they thought it was that they could just tear people down. Like the Queen at the time, her brand was up there. She was one of the top 5 brands, like highly recognizable logos: McDonald's, BP, Shell oil. But the monarch, Queen Elizabeth's brand, was up in the top 3.
oh, yes.
And the Obamas adored her. They just spoke highly of her. One of our Republican prime ministers, Paul Keating, really loved the Queen. He got into trouble because he tapped the back of the Queen's waist. It just wasn't done. Just don't touch our Queen. So that caused a mini scandal at the time. But the point I'm making is, the guy from the Sex Pistols, he's a Republican. Rodney Roode, is it? He loved the Queen. These people are not even royalists. And they loved her. They loved this Queen. And they believed that they could just go in like bulls in a china shop and just break all the china and no one would say anything. Because, well, they're Republicans. They're anti-monarchists. They're going to be with us all the way. No, they weren't. And you cannot. This Queen was in the stratosphere on her own. So Catherine is now she is in a stratosphere of her own now. No one, they'll try to tear her down. She's a woman of great resilience and dignity, but they couldn't tear down this Queen. They couldn't tear down the monarchy, because even in some of the hardened anti-monarchist Republicans, they weren't having it. They weren't buying it. And now they have to deal with someone who loves the royal family, loves his father, loves Catherine, loves Camilla. Oh my gosh, they couldn't. You just do not. You said it in the beginning of this broadcast, Francis, that you can only get so far with negativity. You can't build your brand on negative messaging. It doesn't work. A lot of channels, and my channel got capped. It's called audience capture, because when a scandal is running hot, you just go and you put it up. When I had a 3-month break, I thought, I don't know what I'm doing on YouTube. What am I doing? I'm going to just, take a break. When I came back, I did a big audit, and a lot of it was Harry and Meghan. I don't want that. I don't want that. We've got these fantastic future king and queen that we can focus on. We got Sophie and Edward coming up in the back of the pack, But there's so much juicy stuff.
Mm.
But they think everything can be built like that. And I will give Tina Brown her due. She was right about Harry. He was seduced. He believed that everything she said, we're going to make it big in Hollywood, darling. You know, she was a flea in his ear. He believed everything. He thought she was a big power broker, and she was not. She wasn't.
Well,
And
he's now realized, isn't it?
no,
He's
nothing.
starting to realize, yeah. I think Harry's starting to realize that whatever they thought was gonna be like in US for them is not gonna be that, you know. So he's part of why apparently they are thinking of going to buy this home, or if they've bought it in Portugal, is to try and carve their way back into Europe and see how Harry can now establish himself closer to his roots so he can start to rebuild businesses and lost bridges here in the UK, because it isn't working out for him, let's face it, in the United States. Because what do we see him do there? He just turn up to, Taylor Swift shows maybe, and you see him standing in the back, very miserable, going to these golf games, and he's very miserable there. He really never does anything meaningful in the United States. The market there has for long deserted them. They haven't bought into their narratives at all since they openly exposed themselves on that Oprah Winfrey interview. Okay, everybody is looking at them as a laughing stock. So,
Yes.
so Harry now, I think, is coming to his senses and wants to come back closer here. So maybe a home in Portugal, and we know Meghan Markle knows there's no support for him in the UK, but maybe she can always come and squat near the UK somewhere in Portugal, and while her husband comes to do business in the UK, But yeah, Prince Harry has now, I think, since realized that all of these promises from his wife, we're gonna make it big. We can do business. We can go and actually build a bigger brand than the royal family. No chance.
How can you build a brand bigger than
chance.
the royal family?
Yeah.
I mean, just the proposition itself is ludicrous. It's like, I mean, that tells you that there's something really not something's not working right. How can you build a brand bigger than the royal family? The Queen was the royal family, and she was up there with Shell Oil and BP, and she was up there with McDonald's. Like, they're
exactly.
so stupid.
Yeah.
They're so like, you don't even need to be educated to understand the basics of that.
They had this opportunity and they threw it away. Can you imagine? You have this opportunity to serve at the world stage. Okay, this Meghan Markle, very extremely lucky girl she was, got herself in. Everybody thought this was her moment to shine. And then within a month, she steps out and wants to use this title outside to become big and big without really doing anything for the royal family. That's not how things work. Okay, because when you have that title, you have to work for it. You have to serve people. Catherine, Princess of Wales, is not the Princess of Wales for the sake of being Catherine, Princess of Wales. You have to work. You step out on engagements. You become the patron of 20, 30, 40, 50 charities. You work. And part of the working is to spread awareness on the good causes of the community. Okay. And that's what people will judge you upon, you being able to work for the community, But then you see Meghan Markle, Prince Harry bailing out barely month. They've let down so many charities they were patrons for. they were given the torch for the Commonwealth. They threw that away. And you think people will take them any serious again? And you think they are going to get any other breakthroughs? No
No,
chance,
no.
because there
There's
is no
nothing.
breakthrough that is going
This,
to be massive than the one that Meghan Markle had marrying into the royal family.
yeah, there's nothing else above
Nothing
that.
else.
That
Nothing else above that.
it's a
Exactly.
different celebrity. It's a different arena. It's not comparable with Hollywood. That's
No.
why you have to watch and protect the mystique of the royal
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
See, she didn't understand that. She didn't do her homework. She didn't sit down and study the royal family. Oh, she studied her mark, but she didn't study the royal family. She didn't read a history book, and she didn't know anything about Queen Charlotte. All she did was read up on the scandals about Wallace and Edward. Big deal, that's all
Yeah.
out there. But she wouldn't have read any of their books. Andrew Loney writes some fantastic books on Edward and Wallace, but she didn't read up on it. No way. She's not that deep.
Hmm. Hmm.
She's just not that deep. But I just think that his future is bleak. Harry's
Yeah.
future is not good.
Hmm.
And I say that with a real gravity. A friend of mine, my friend here, actually, he talks about Cain and Abel in the Bible regularly, and he says that, God said to Cain, he said, look, you'll do well if, you can do well in the land,
Hmm.
but,
Hmm.
sin is crouching at your door, and if once it takes you, and he was protected in the end, but he committed the worst vile crime against his brother, and he killed his brother and tried to pretend he hadn't done it. Well, that's what Harry's tried to do to his brother. He's
Hmm.
assassinated his brother's character. Well, that was never going to stand
Hmm.
because, people have been around, they read the books, they watch TV, they're fans of Diana or Charles or one or both camps. But he could have a future, but he doesn't want to do what he has to do in order to, and he needs to go and apologize to his father and his brother. He just start there. Don't put out whiny press releases saying, I really want to forgive my family. You can tell that, that uh, this silence from his family is starting to cut deep with him because, I want to make up with them. I want to forgive them, but there's two people standing in the way. No, you need to get down and you need to ask and beg for your father's forgiveness without conditions, and you need to ask your brother's forgiveness for the way you've spoken about his wife, spoken about himself. It's not going to work unless he does that first. And
Exactly.
he is a
Exactly.
Cain. He is a
Oh,
Cain, and things didn't end well for him. He basically lived. God protected him in the land even after what he did to his brother, but his life wasn't good. I mean, it wasn't. He was not a blessed man, and that's what Harry gave up. Harry was living in the blessing. He was
oh,
living
he
in it,
was. He
and he
was.
spat on it and trampled on it.
He was at some point. He was becoming he was even becoming as more popular than the Queen was at some point.
Yes.
Okay, and he threw all of this away to now sitting right there at the very bottom with the likes of Andrew, which is really a shame because this young man who had grown up in the face of everybody, his brother Prince William, they're running around, these two Princess Diana boy is very lovely, adorable. Everybody thought they were going to grow up and become this very, very principled young man carrying the torch of the royal family forward. And then he decides to take the path he took. It's very sad, and people are always going to look at him as a very sad story
I
of
think
a
so.
young man who
Yeah.
had the potential to become great, working in the royal circles, and he decides to victimize himself in a way that he has done. But like you said, without that apology, there isn't going to be moving forward. And whether he can put his ego aside and apologize, that is another thing, because we know he always wants to be on the winning side. He likes
Yes.
things to be, so he doesn't want to come out as somebody who is the loser in this sort of campaign. And somebody here said really that they don't see him coming back as a working royal. I think that was is it Chantel? No,
Yeah, that
was it
ship sailed.
ship? Yeah, say they can't see him. Is it Lana or Natoya? Somebody says I'm trying to get it back.
Lana
Lana.
Caven.
Yes. See, they can't see him come back as a working royal. Not in a million times.
No, because he can't be trusted.
Yeah, the
He's
trust
a
is
traitor.
gone.
He
Yeah,
can't be trusted.
Yeah, trust is gone, because what else can he not say if he says that his brother pushed him and he fell on a dog bowl and he broke his rib? Some of those conversations are so intimate that nobody needed to know them. So if somebody can stand up and say, we told our father not to marry that wife of his, and he went ahead and did so, then what else can he not say? So sadly, I don't think he will ever come back in capacities he was in before he left. And him being around other royals, even, we see them meeting up in, is it, what's the, I sort of forget, right? I tend to forget, but they usually meet up for the Christmas, Sandringham. For the Christmas celebration, all the royals meet there for the summer, summer.
Yes, at Balmoral.
Yes, Balmoral, yes.
Yeah.
None of them now trusts them to be around them, because, what if those messages go back and maybe you find them in interviews and in papers, in newspaper articles.
Yeah.
So the question of whether he's coming back to serve, I don't think that should even be debatable. He will not. And I know that his stand with his brother, according to how we are reading around things and how they haven't been in any meaningful communication, it is even going to get worse when his brother sits on that throne.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And the window's closing,
Yeah. So he's running out of time.
He's not bright enough to. He's not a strategic thinker. He doesn't think long term. He's not. Oh, it's just tragic. I think it's awful. But
it's a story,
no one wants him back. They've closed ranks.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we're gonna bring this live to the end.
We're gonna bring this live on a monetized channel to a close. But you've still got
Thank you guys.
Leave some thank yous for
Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. The only downside to these monetized channels is that
fabulous.
Usually when you click on the video to watch it and the advert first comes up, sometimes people are impatient. They just want to skip that advert quickly, and but please hang in there. I'm always hiding behind that advert, and I will always be popping out after. But it is all in the support of the channel. Thank you so much, guys. Really, really appreciate it. So we want to bring this live to the end by again highlighting the great work of Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince William, recently stepping out in South Africa, King Charles and his courage, his heart, still serving even during these very, very challenging times he's been through. His wife had a chest infection, we were told the other day, but I think it was also made worse by the fatigue. I think the fatigue of traveling from Australia and back, and they were very, very busy out in Australia. So
Yeah.
this fatigue was always going to be a matter of time, and it would catch up with them. So it's very understandable that she's feeling the way she is. But
Yeah, I think so. She
hmm,
looked well the other day, though, when she was out and about.
yes, yeah.
Camilla.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. But thank you guys. Joe, good night.
Good
And
night,
thank you,
gang.
Sam, Aspi. You
Bye,
guys are
sweetie
brilliant.
darlings.
Lana, thank you, City Darlings, the Summers. We have an A team on this channel. We really do. And very, very grateful. Chantel is here, who is in Australia. I think Chantel is
Yes,
here.
Chantal's Australian.
Australia, yeah.
Stedman's Texas.
Stedman is Texas.
Ashby.
Aspi is
Where's Ashby?
Aspi is here, is no?
I thought so. Yeah. Yeah.
Aspi, I think,
Ashby.
is here. Aspi is here. Yeah.
Soto is
And
Scotland,
Sam
I
is
think.
here too. Yeah, Sam is
Yeah.
here too. So we have such a diverse team here coming from
Oh,
this very
terrific.
key. Yeah. But let's continue praying for Catherine's quick
Thank you,
recovery.
Chantal.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, as Sam is Scottish. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, and Joe is from Yorkshire up here next
I was born
door.
in Yorkshire.
Yes. So Joe knows the Royal, knows the Catterick Infantry Training Center where I trained as a British soldier for
Oh,
6 months.
oh
Yes.
wow, it's
So
really
she
cozy
knows
crew.
that. Yeah. Natoya, thank you for finding this live today. Lana Coven,
Good
thank you
night,
so much.
Natoya.
Come back here, guys. We are always here for these live streams. Weekends, I think we might do one on Sunday. Let's see how Catherine gets on,
Yeah.
because I know she traveled.
Yeah, I'm
And
here
so
in, but we can do it. I've shown this morning
thank you,
we can
Joe.
manage it. And my
Yes.
friend's giving me
Yeah.
cups of tea.
Yeah. So we will try and come back again and have a bit of a
Yes.
lovely Sunday, maybe afternoon. We could do a bit early
Oh,
for
yes.
Sunday before
Let's
people
do
go
that.
to bed. Yeah. So, but yes, from me today, everyone,
Oh,
thank you for the
okie
support and for the super thanks and stars. Thank you, Aspi. Thank you so much.
Bye,
The
Natoya. Bye,
brat.
Sam.
Yes. Bye-bye. And we
Bye.
will catch up again very soon. All right.
See you, Chantel. Bye.
Bye.